Researchers at Oregon State University are tackling a very specific problem related to space travel: how to grow food on the moon to help feed astronauts in the not too distant future.
That is a big problem,
Yes.
right? Okay, it turns out just like in the Matt Damon movie, The Martian, the potatoes may be the answer. Jean Rainier has the story.
This project is all about NASA's Artemis program, which is taking place right here in Corvallis. They're focusing on a long presence on the moon. Researchers here are learning how to grow food in harsh moon conditions, which is going to be critical for astronauts who are expected to land on the moon over the next several years.
This is what I plan on harvesting today.
Inside this lab at Oregon State University, David Handy, a space biologist, is tackling one of the biggest challenges of living on the moon: how to grow food where there's no real soil.
On the moon, we have what's called regolith, which is basically a dirt that is completely lacking in any kind of biomatter.
Unlike soil on Earth, the material on the surface of the moon contains none of the organic materials plants normally need to survive. So Handy and his team use a mix of crushed minerals and volcanic ash so it would be similar to the Earth's surface.
And so think of like a very fine silt that you end up with. And so it compacts a lot. It's electrostatically charged, so it tends to cling a lot.
So what Handy and his team decided to do?
We did an experiment where we simply added some worm compost. And that, by the time we had 30% by volume compost mixed in, the plants were identical to our Earth soil controls.
That experiment turned out dozens of spuds, and they discovered adding compost made a huge difference.
I thought it was a perfect crop to choose for different reasons. One, everybody eats potatoes. We eat them as French fries in many different ways.
The second reason behind using potatoes for this NASA-funded research project?
On Earth, it grows in pretty much every places on Earth. Different latitude, different altitude. There's just very few places where you can't grow potatoes.
Now they hope this experiment will be taking this team and this starchy veggie to new heights.